What's up? What's up? It's your boy Demo Down. We'll be back on another video today. We're watching UnrealEntGaming, Beyond Dragon Ball Super, Demon God, Raijin Battles, Universe 7, the final configuration cube targeted. Yes, I'm gonna watch Ultra Vegito as soon as possible. I'm sorry, I don't have time for a long ass video, even though I watched like a long ass video like 2 days ago. But right now, but if it's below 30, I can get into it. But about around 50, I can't do it right now. Got shit going on. And so let's get into it, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and let go.
As our story now continues, following the initial events of the inevitable destruction of the Dark Master Gira, courtesy by the hands of our heroes and having to come up with a strategic enough plan in cornering Gira before she was destroyed, as with our heroes now seemingly in full control with only one elite demon left, with Beast Gohan being shown having to face him, was when Beast Gohan then went on to quickly respond, "Whoa, don't go crawling back in cowardice now after everything it was that you had said to me out here, demon, because you should already know, if you had even went and done your research on us here within the 7th, that we weren't going to go and be pushed around, nor are we going to be beaten that easily in a battle here against you," Gohan says. And since you can't seem but need to want to learn the hard way, then the hard way you will ultimately end up learning, Gohan continues, since we tend to play by the same rules that you demons play by in order for us to go and call things evenly out here against you, and because of this, you should go and come to terms with the fact that this struggle that you had went and tried to wage here against us is over for you. As Goku then went on to respond, "Good going on having to go and destroy."
It's raining hard, so if y'all hear rain or thunder, it's raining. Hopefully, you get this
since
video.
we can now understand on what exactly it is that we are going to have to go and try to do to bring these Dark Masters and their elite demons down, we should continue to incorporate the same strategy that we just used against that demon Gira, and if we simply hope to go and stay in the clear in not having either of us fall to one of them during this battle, with Beerus being shown having to then respond, "Well, so as long as neither one of you Saiyans ends up getting in my way upon having to destroy them, let alone in being shown having to go and fight them all on your own the way you just did, but instead rather go and stick and move as a unit together, then we will be just fine, so as long as you don't go and mess things up for us even more than what you already have, Goku," with Vegeta then being shown having to respond, "Good, that's the way. Not so tough now without having your precious Dark Masters running around and barking out orders now, is it?" Vegeta questions. "For it's almost like you have went and doubled our ability to truly make a comeback here against you, whilst assuming that you had us all figured out when in reality you didn't. And so now go and finish that coward off and be done with him for good down there, Gohan," with Beast Gohan having to then respond, "As I just want you to know here and now that you and your kind had done enough damage in having to show us on just how dangerous you demons can truly be when given the right amount of time to follow through with your plans. And since I will no longer stand idly by and having to watch as any of this continues for the sake of both my family alongside my friends, I cannot go and allow for you and your kind to continue to threaten the ones that I love," Gohan continues, "because the longer we allow for this to go and continue, then the greater the odds will end up being in having us go and lose everything that we've been fighting to protect, and so, because of this very fact, this here between us finally ends now. And so better you than our friends and family, since you had went and brought this onto yourself, demon. And so now just go and do yourself a favor and close your eyes if you need to, because this ends here and now once and for all, and so now say goodbye." But then it was only just within that very moment, as Gohan let out a blast with his very own energy attack now being shown being redirected, was when Gohan then went on to continue, "Wait, what the? My blast? What did you just do?" Gohan shouts. "Whoa, hey, watch it," Goku then went on to quickly shout, "and just where in the world is that thing going? Unless... no," with Beerus then having to then quickly chime in, "Oh, something's pulling that energy blast away from that demon, which could only mean one thing, since we had went and seen something similar to this happen before when that demon had been taken away moments before I had destroyed him. But then, it was only shockingly enough now from out of nowhere within this very moment, as Raijin's hand was shown having to appear from a wormhole and stopping and preventing Gohan's attack from having to destroy Zaru, was when Raijin went on to quickly address Universe 7 by responding. So this is where the epicenter of defiance, along with the resistance that I've been sensing, has been festering from. Now is it? Because now that I have already claimed 2 of the 3 configuration cubes that I seek, Raijin continues, I can sense the final piece having to resonate from within this very world, and while you have attempted to go and hide it well, it wasn't ever going to be kept hidden well enough for me to go and not come to find it, Raijin says. For I did not come here to negotiate, nor did I come here to simply parlay with any of you creatures, but to simply retrieve what belongs to me by any means necessary. And if that means that I will go and need to burn everything down within this universe in order for me to go and have it, then I won't go on to waste a single moment in having to do it if it means getting what I am after, even if it's at your own expense, Raijin continues. And so now heed my words and listen very closely to what it is that I'm about to go and say to you, because unlike how it was shown in having to be before, I will not go on to fail a second time in fulfilling my destiny, whether it just so happens to come at the expense of both mortals, gods, and demons alike, Raijin continues. And as I will go and tear away at what I must in order to have what it is that I seek, and since you and your universe refuse to accept the circumstances that have already set themselves into motion with, you may have went and done away and have found for a method to go and destroy one of my Dark Masters, but now that I am here, and now that I am aware of the troublesome issues that you and your universe appear to be causing for me and my legion, this here will be as far as I will allow for any of you to go, because from this moment onwards, Raijin continues, I am going to be the one who will be dictating and controlling the outcome of what our battles and how they will be waged here within this universe, creatures. As you may have went and found a way in being lucky enough to have wiped away with Gira, but I, on the other hand, will not be so easy to go and deal with as she just was, and so this is where your struggle ends. As Beerus went on to then look on by then quickly responding, wait a minute now, hold on, is that really the same demon that was shown in having to reveal himself against us from before? But that can't be, because just look at him, with Goku then chiming in, it is, and what's even more is that incredibly massive battle power that I'm sensing here too. So this was what the Dark Masters had went and used those Super Dragon Balls for, as the Demon Zaru then went on to quickly address Gohan by laughing and responding, oh, not so high and mighty now, aren't you there, Saiyan? Because now you've done it, with Gohan responding, wait a minute now, but that can't be the same Dark God of the Underworld that had went and showed up here just a few hours ago.
He got strong as hell.
Could it? Because, well, not only is he visibly shown having to be much different than how he was before, but that power, it's unreal, with Raijin responding, you creatures from the 7th should have already expected for my arrival here again after I had went and warned you that I was going to return, and now that I am back, Raijin says, just because I happen to go and look a little differently doesn't mean that I have forgotten about what it was that you have attempted against me here while in my elder state, Raijin says. Only this time, I in fact don't plan on leaving until I have what I came here to collect, you dirty little worms. But would you go and take a look at that? Of all of the places and of all of the beings in the vast, trembling multiverse, you, Whis, you in fact just so happen to be the one who is cradling the final configuration cube that I seek, just as I assumed that you would after having to watch Zalama crumble beneath my feet, Raijin continues. And now that I am just simply one step closer towards doing the impossible, history will forever change once I have what I came here for. As this now accelerates everything, as you are now the final obstacle that stands between myself and the full reconstruction of the very multiverse itself, and having to go as far as to see on what lies beyond it. And since you are now officially a walking target, Raijin says, I can only go as far as to promise you here and now that I won't let you disappear into the void with my cube until I am to go and pry it from your your cold angelic hands, which I already planned to do, with Goku being shown having to turn around and having to shout, "Hey Whis, if this is true, then you've got to go and try to get as far away from him as you possibly can," as Beerus then went on to quickly respond, "Oh no, this demon doesn't, for I have seen all that it is that I want to stand to go and handle for one day, and this time, you aren't going to be going and getting away from me that easily, especially now that I have you exactly where I need for you to be, demon. And as you will hereby come to ultimately know your place in realizing the grave mistake that you had went and made by crossing into my universe, along with having you pay for everything that you and your legion have done in turning everything upside down and on its head upon having to come here, demon." But then, it was only just within these very moments as Beerus was shown having to strike Raijin, as Beerus' strike had literally no effect on Raijin whatsoever.
I'm sorry if I'm
was
not
when
paid. I'm
Raijin
watching
went
the
on to
story.
quickly
I'm
respond, "You
other shit
still
going
don't
on
choose
here.
to
Sorry.
try and understand, but would rather rely
Yeah,
on
Beerus, that
blind
shit ain't gonna work,
faith
bro.
along with a false title in hopes of trying to further prove your point and strike fear within the hearts of those whom you oppose. But just so we are clear here, Beerus, you could never truly go and live up to your title as being a true and fearsome god of destruction, when here I stand before you in being a far greater destroyer than you could ever possibly dream
don't
of
get your
having
ass
to live
rocked.
up to, and yet you're the one with the title as being one when you are not," Raijin says, "as you have always and will forever continue to be nothing more than a mere puppet in favor of those who rank above your very nature, and because you will always play second fiddle to those angels and Omni Kings alike," Raijin continues, "I, on the other hand, am far more than what you could ever hope and dream of becoming, for it is I who currently sits at the very top of that pecking order while you continue to coexist beneath me, which is exactly on how this shall remain from here on, always and forever, Beerus," as both Vegeta and Goku were then shown having to quickly make their way towards Raijin and dashing towards his direction, with Goku responding, "Whoa, oh Vegeta, we are hereby left with no other choice, and so we have to get in there and try, even if we just so happen to fail to go and make a difference in having to stop him. And so let's hurry and go and close right in before he goes and makes the first move against us instead," as Zoro then went on to quickly respond, "Oh, that was close, but since Lord Raijin appears to have their full and undivided attention here, now's my chance to go and hurry back and make my way into the demon realm before it's too late." But then, it was only just during the middle of Beerus' body being shown having to crash directly into Gohan, as Whis went on to then further make his presence known by having to get in between them and stopping them from further having to fly out, was when Whis went on to then quickly respond, "Oh dear, easy there, careful now, for you do not need to go and have to worry, as I am here for you all and will continue to go and do so until the bitter end, regardless of what ends up happening," as Raijin then went on to then further freeze Goku and Vegeta in place by then responding, "And then there's the two of you, proud and arrogant Saiyan warriors Goku and Vegeta, as if your battle against that fallen angel Murno had went and taught you anything, for it should have ultimately been on when to know to back down, rather than continue to engage in fighting against an enemy that you both simply know that you are powerless to destroy. And while I honestly have no interest in having to go and deal with either one of you, since you already are both extremely far beneath me," Raijin continues, "you are both but a joke through my very own eyes, because Murno should have ended you both a very long time ago when he had the chance, but since I am now left to go and deal with his failures, allow for me to go and have you both use your heads in giving you yet another reminder on why you will never hope in ever having to come close enough in beating me in battle, no matter what it is that you go and try against me." But then, it was only shockingly enough now from out of nowhere as Super Saiyan 3 Broly went on to make his presence known in wrapping himself around Raijin and squeezing him within a bear hug, when a surprised Raijin then went on to quickly respond, "What the? Oh, and just what is this? For do you honestly really think that this is going to somehow work here against me, you primitive beast? Please, don't insult me with such a primal attempt of trying to go and get the better of me whilst not having a single clue as to what you are truly going up against here, Saiyan." again. And so the harder you attempt to squeeze, the more you expose your pitiful desperation, Raijin continues. And that is simply because sheer size and strength alone isn't what forges a dangerous fighter, Saiyan. But it is rather the size of the fight and the levels that you are willing to suffer through within that forge the most dangerous and ruthless warriors the world has ever seen. And since you wouldn't understand given how you are not from the demon realm, Raijin proceeds upon being shown having to slowly pull Broly's arms away. Allow for me to hereby go and show you that just because you're big does it not mean that you are stronger than those who were forged within the fires of darkness long before your very own time, Saiyan, as I am going to come to make you slowly regret it not surrendering yourself to me when you were given the chance to go and do so. Because while you could have proven yourself to be rather useful to our cause in serving directly under me as one of my strongest demon warriors throughout the entirety of the demon realm itself, let this now go and serve as being a small reminder to you that you will never go and be strong enough on your own to stop me from achieving my ultimate goals, Broly. And if you had been wise enough earlier and had submitted yourself to my very will, could you have been a magnificent weapon of destruction within the ranks of my demon army, but you had went and made your decision even long before I had arrived within your universe, which goes and tells me everything it is that I need to go and know about you. And so if this was going to be the very best that you little worms could do in using all that you possibly could in trying to stand across for me during this battle, Raijin says, then go and do yourselves a favor before I return to you and simply stay down in the meantime. But then it was only just upon with Raijin being shown having to walk right past Vegeta and Goku, with Vegeta being shown having to grab onto Raijin's leg, was when Vegeta went on to then quickly respond, "Don't you dare go and take another damn step closer, demon, for I don't care on how much pain I'm in or how many times you go and knock me down, because the only thing that truly matters is for you to know that we won't stop fighting you until you are reduced to nothing more than space dust. And while you gloat about your destiny and talk about the inevitability of your conquest and getting what you're after," Vegeta continues, "all I seem to continue to listen to is a coward who is hiding behind stolen power that he simply didn't earn, but had rather went and used every other method that he could in order to convince himself otherwise," Vegeta continues. "And so if you truly want to win, then you'll have to go and crush the very spirit of every warrior standing in your path here, as I promise you that this isn't going to be something that you will be able to go and accomplish so easily, demon," with Raijin responding, "And just who exactly do you think you are by going and placing your dirty hands on me and attempting to prevent me from obtaining my destiny, mortal? For you are nothing but a worm, and so now allow for me to go and make something extremely clear to you so that you may fully be able to go and understand," Raijin says, "and as both yourself along with every single insignificant soul who calls this universe their home are not worthy of my time. For I didn't go and come here to go and trade philosophies with weak and broken warriors such as yourself, when I had came here instead to go and lay claim over what is mine to have, which ultimately extends and goes far beyond you feeble creatures. However, you say that I will go and need to crush your spirits if I truly hope to be victorious over you, but I already have, and you just haven't went and realized it yet," Raijin continues. "For your will may be strong, Saiyan, but I am not here to go and do battle against will, for I am here to rewrite the very fabric of reality and history itself. And if I'll need to go and start by setting the example with you as my victim, then so be it then, mortal." But then, it was only just then within these very moments as Whis went on to make his presence known and having to intervene by attacking Raijin, was when Whis went on to then quickly shout, "That's enough, for you have went and caused far too much damage as it is for me to go and stand idly by and having to watch you go and attempt to destroy these mortals while I'm here to go and aid them, as I will not allow for you to go and hereby advance in your quest and watching you further plunge the multiverse into even more chaos than what it was, and especially now that you are far too dangerous to be allowed to go unchecked, which I will now go and do what I must in order to stop you from succeeding, demon," with Raijin responding, "Why, you you insufferable angelic creature. For you and your kind have always been the most troublesome bunch that always had went and managed to get in the way of each and every single one of my plans, and having my suffering all stem because of you. But no matter then, Raijin says, because now that I know as to where the third and final configuration cube lies, I will go on to stop at nothing to have what I am rightfully owed and what rightfully goes and belongs to me. And as the only reason as to why you are still breathing, Raijin continues upon being shown having to push Whis away, is simply because I want you to go and feel every bit of what I had felt when you and your kind had went and sealed me away. And as the very essence of isolation, agony, and torment, and for the crimes of being what you are, which is an angel and a creation of the same system that had imprisoned me for generations upon generations and having to leave me to rot until the end of my days. And instead of using that very same power that your fallen angelic brother Murno had to rip you apart and ending your life as quickly as I could, and as I am going to go and make you feel every bit of the pain that I had went and felt when both your brother and your father had imprisoned me, Whis. And as your siblings along with your father will ultimately come to sense the void of where you once stood, Raijin continues, but by the time they go and come to find out on what had happened to you, it will already be too late in having anyone try and do anything that they could muster in stopping me, Raijin says. And so you can go and try as much as you'd like in attempting to try to best me if you think that it'll honestly be enough to go and win you the day, because in the end, you will ultimately fail just as the others have fallen before you, Whis. And with Murno's divine knowledge infused into my very soul, I am no longer bound by the limitations of flesh or magic, Raijin continues, for I have become a weapon of absolute annihilation. And since you and your kind are the only living creatures remaining who can still stand to challenge my authority, Raijin continues, I am going to go and take this time to go and do unto you just as you and your kind had went and done unto me, while I slowly go and grind you into the dirt where you rightfully belong before I am to have what you just so happen to hold in your hand. But understand this, Angel, that you can go and make no mistake about the fact that I will go and get my hands on that final configuration cube from you, whether I am to go and pry it from you during our battle or I tear it from your lifeless corpse. As one way or another, I will not cease my destruction until I have what I have been searching for, Raijin continues. And as I am going to hurt you in ways that your divine anatomy isn't quite ready for, and since you seem to be guarding the one thing that I am after, I am going to go and punish you for every second that you delayed my destiny, still in your hand. Put that in like a safety or something. You and your kind had stood by in silence and watched as I rotted beyond the edges of time itself is something that I will also go and make you pay dearly for, Whis. And as you will pay for both your neutrality along with your apathy, as you will also be paying that final price with your very existence itself once this is all said and done, Angel. And while I do not have the need to go and exert much of myself out here against you, and considering that Murno's very power is what makes up the majority of my newly combined strength, Raijin continues, and it's time that you go and suffer for what your father had went and put me through, because since he's no longer around, I'm going to go and make sure that you wind up paying his price for him. As it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Murno sequel, manga chapter number 37 special, then comes to a close.
We just saw your ass in the video. We only hear your voice. Anyway, shout out to UnrealEntGaming for this video, man. It's a pretty good chapter. Rat Boy Lord Raijin, he's a beast. I don't know how they're gonna handle this nigga. I don't even know, but especially they ain't got Zeno in them yet. Zeno in the Grand Prix, so I don't know. But check out the last chapter right here if you want to check it out. Check out another video you might like right here, and I'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace.